Sammy Baugh, though 36 years old and with 15 seasons of full competition behind him, gives no signs of nearing the end of his amazing career.
Art Monk is now number one, the most prolific pass receiver in the National Football League's history. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
This is Harry Hog Football, the original Redskins fans podcast. On today's show, we talk about the game between the Washington Redskins and the Seattle Seahawks. And like us, question many Redskins fans are asking, how did we actually go in and win that game? This and much, much more live with Aaron and John. Yo, what's up, John?
Up, man.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Harry Hog Football, episode number 438, in which we marched into Seattle and did something that only, 6 other teams have done in the last 5 years or so?
Something like that. Yeah. We kicked their butts. Yeah.
Well, it was a little bit of our scrubs kicking their butts and a little
Legion
bit
and
of
Doom or Boom's butts.
them kicking their own butts a little bit.
Them kicking their own butts helped us a lot. 3 missed field goals.
And like 200 yards in penalties.
Yep.
And yeah, so it was interesting, very interesting game to say the very least. And we don't usually come out on the bright side of those types of games. But you know what? If you're Seattle, all right, this still doesn't make up for the playoff losses, but it was pretty. It was welcome. It was a
welcome. It was a very nice surprise. Everyone I talked to during this week leading up to this podcast was just like, "How do we win?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I have no idea." But we got it, and we talked about the missed field goals and the umpteen million penalties that they had, especially on the offensive line. I don't know. It just worked out. We were really lucky. And
a lot of it was our defense. They were bringing pressure on Russell the entire day, and it was
pretty much
And that was kind of their game plan. Like Minuski said it, that they were just going to keep him from doing what we call the butt cheek play. Is what it boils down to.
Basically.
And as you guys know, what always happens to us is someone rolls out, and they look like they should be sacked, and then they throw a 30-yard pass. It always happened to us against Tony Romo.
Yep.
It
would be like right before one like half of his butt cheek, or one butt cheek, I guess, is going down to the ground, like right before it's supposed to hit the ground, and that guy would be down. Especially Tony Romo, he's just like.
Tony Romo killed us with that stuff.
So many times.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I remember when we got RG3, we're like, we're finally gonna have someone that's gonna have butt cheek plays, but that didn't last too long.
I didn't.
Thanks
say
to
that.
Seattle. Yes, you did.
I did not. I hated RG3.
You didn't hate him.
I get an argument with Rich Chandler on Twitter, like the day that we did the whole draft thing. I was like, this is a big mistake. And he was just like, why? And I went through the whole thing. And we agreed to disagree.
You didn't hate him that day in 2012 when we were at the game against the Cowboys at the very end.
No, that game was fantastic.
You didn't have any hatred for him that evening. It was freezing.
Nope. He was awesome at that point, and then he got hurt, which is exactly what I said was going to happen.
1 week later, against, and here it comes, full circle, the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And our team has sucked ever since. Well, they weren't that great before, but things were looking up, and then after that, it wasn't. Anyway, back to the
And then we got Jay Gruden, and it's been awesome.
Back to the Seahawks game. Before we go any further, I want to give a shout-out to our benevolent sponsor, Desmond C. Lee. You can reach him at Desmond C. Lee 2 on Twitter, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have out there.
Yep. And if you're looking for us on there on Twitter, we are Harry Hog, Harry Hog. What? What was that lady saying to you the other day? She was like, how's that spelled? H-A-I-R-Y?
It wasn't the other day. It's when we went to get our bank account like 5 years ago or whatever. For Harry Hog. She was like, what's the name of your company? And I'm like, Harry Hog Football. And she's like, H-A-I-R-Y. I was like, no, H-A-R-R-Y. Hog? What do y'all do?
What do y'all do?
Well, talk about
Watch
things.
sports. Talk about it.
Watch football and then talk about it. How you make money on it? We don't. Why do you need a bank account? To keep our money.
That we don't make.
That we don't make. But I would like to give a shout out to our benevolent sponsor, Desmond C. Lee, too. Today we updated our Wirecast software, and we hopefully will take advantage of that video conferencing feature they added. And
Yes.
we won't have to use Skype, which always seems to crap the bed every third episode.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Especially since we're getting more into these YouTube things, which you guys that are on the traditional route should really join these chats on the YouTube. We're trying to do Tuesday nights on this. Unfortunately, this week it got switched to Thursday, but we're trying to give more notice on Twitter when we're going to do it, if we're not going to do it Tuesdays at 7, which is the normal time.
It's normally, but...
And I want to give a shout out to Alamo City Live Music, who is always in the chat room ready to talk Redskins with the other people that are in there. Tonight I see San in there again. Does he have a picture of Bubbles? What is that?
Maybe?
I don't know. B&G Buns, also known as Rabbit Rads, we think.
I think it's his face.
Oh, sorry, dude. On my screen, it's like this tall.
Well, yeah, it's like teeny tiny on my screen, but it looks like
From a distance.
somebody wearing glasses.
From a distance.
So maybe that's where you got your Bubbles from.
I did not mean to insult you that way.
Harry Hog Football, insulting friends and family alike.
Look how red my face is now after accidentally insulting someone in the chat room.
Right.
Well, we just lost a subscriber, so if you guys could come into the chat room, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, because we only need a few more subscribers and we can get our own URL. Plus, it's fun in there.
He said his boss said he looks like Bubbles.
Okay, well, I only feel half as bad now. But also, San in the chat room I heard this on the way home on all channels, NPR, that Ezekiel Elliott is finally suspended, and it only took the courts less than a half hour to be like, no, he's suspended today.
Again. Or not suspended tomorrow. Who knows?
And that they said they will expedite his next appeal, and the courts will hear that in December. And I don't remember.
It's never going to end.
What day
and
do we?
Jerry Jones' bell-ended self who's behind this whole shenanigan thing going on. It's ridiculous.
So when is our next game against the Cowboys? I don't have the schedule up here. Do you know?
I believe. Hold on. I think I've got it.
It'll probably be the day before we play them. He'll be reinstated. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I think it's in 3 weeks.
Oh. Well, they're saying now that his next hearing would be December 2nd. So we'll probably play him on December 3rd, so he could be reinstated for that rivalry.
Our next game with Dallas is on November 30th.
Oh, so guess what? He's not going to be in there against us.
It matters not. Well, actually, it kind of matters because he plowed through us the first game.
Yeah, it kind of does matter in this time period. So anyway, hopefully I'm not even going to talk about that. We need to talk more about the Seattle game. The defense was outstanding in this ball game. Well, but not really if you look at the stats. That's the weird thing. It seemed like our defense was like stifling.
They weren't stifling them, but we kept until the very end of the game. We were keeping them. We kept holding them to field goal tries instead of touchdowns over and over and over again. And Blair Walsh just kept missing them.
Yeah, he missed 3.
He missed 3.
So if he would have made those 3, it would have been what? 11-0 at one point.
That's true.
So
just like you said, defense, their penalties on themselves. Kirk Cousins had a few amazing throws in this game.
yeah.
It's just all sorts of things like all came together at the same time. It was nice.
I'm pulling up the stats right now. Redskins, Seahawks stats.
Yep.
I think we gave up over 400 and some yards of offense. Of defense.
I believe it. I would not be surprised at all.
But it didn't feel like that when I was